Boom, guys. Last week I was doing way too much, just trying to grow way too many things and had to scale back a little bit. But super excited to tell you about the week. So just jumping it right off. Yeah, definitely this week was a lot. I don't know. I got in a little bit of a funk and I was just trying to figure myself out, figure out what we're going to build here. And, I put everything on the whiteboard kind of like I showed you last week. And I was like, okay, I'm going to figure this out this week. And I just didn't. It was like week 1, 0 progress. But I did post a video. So, hey, that's great. Reviewing last week, I was trying to build an AI company, music, a gospel brand, personal brand, wedding film production, all of these different things. And it was just absolutely driving me crazy. I literally just could not figure out what I was trying to build. Literally that simple. And so I had to take a step back, and this week was really good. I think I have a direction now. So super excited to share that with you guys. I did have a really big, inspiration this week, which was more ideas does not mean more opportunity. So we're going to dive into that right now. Okay, I feel like I should slightly document this, but just in the last 3 hours trying to figure out my life, my next 6 months. Thought I was going to build a marketing agency. Still probably going to happen, something like that. But I also do music, and I want to build product, and I have a gospel brand. Anyway, I was just ideating, and I just could not figure out the offer that I wanted to do for the marketing company. I love marketing, I just live in it. But I just could not figure out my offer. Anyway, so I just came up with this. I just literally was on Gemini. Chat knows me too well that I literally can't use it to do original ideation now. So it's a Gemini. I pay for both of them, so they give me their best models. Anyway, I have a friend who's in the skincare industry, and it's been on my mind a lot. And I found this thing called a volumizer, basically like a topical Botox kind of thing. It kind of just puffs the skin, makes it look fuller. So we kind of trying to figure all that out, see if that's the product I want to go with. But it's pretty awesome what chats are able to do. Looks like there's some white label products out there I can buy and then resell. So yeah. Anyway. We may have a product here. Just had to document the first night it happened. So just been sitting in this chair, it's been alive. So this week, the lack of ideas was not there. I had so many ideas, so many different things I wanted to do. But, the biggest problem I lacked this week was I just couldn't single in on a single customer. And that's really the focus of today's video, is really teaching you guys that if you want to start a company, if you want to start a brand, if you want to start anything, it all goes back to the customer. It has nothing to do with the product. It has nothing to do with the price point. It has nothing to do with the offer. Every single thing that you're going to do in business has to directly tie to the customer. And the moment you can understand that, the moment you will start succeeding in business. There is no possible way you can get enough momentum to build for everyone. Not even the biggest brands in the world try to hit every single person. They target specific people. And clarity does not come from choosing a business. It comes from choosing a customer. I'm gonna keep repeating that, because once you nail that idea, you will be able to go so far. So the question you should be asking yourself is, who do I want to serve? And this week I did find out. I figured out who I wanted to serve. And I'll just tell you right now, it's women from the ages of 34 to 38 that are probably working professionals. So this week I had a conversation with one of my good buddies who also does content creation. And we kind of sat and chatted, and I talked about all the things I wanted to do. And he really just helped me see that I cannot do everything. I got to narrow down. So I went to a room and I was like, okay, I'm going to figure out what I'm doing. And when I got in there, building this conglomerate marketing agency was the thing that stood out to me. It was okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to build this marketing agency, and it's going to be awesome. It's going to house my production company. It's going to house AI. It's going to house all these different things. But, as I started figuring out that, trying to figure out an offer, it just bored me. I really just did not find any excitement in the idea of building this more of a service business. And so I had written out on the side, side hustles, product, my music, my gospel, etc. All those other things I was talking about, those are my side hustles now. But as I built out this marketing agency, I just found no joy in it. I literally just could not be happy. And so I was like, okay, let's switch. Let's just put the product as the main thing, and the brand, building a brand, and let's figure it out. And so I switched those roles and put the product at the top, and it just changed everything. As soon as I put that product as the main thing I wanted to focus on, within 30 minutes, I had figured out who I wanted to serve and what I kind of wanted to sell. And the funny thing is, I've always known who I wanted to serve. Mothers are just the biggest spender, right? If you can target women that are like younger, like people like not like in their 20s or like really early 30s, but like mid 30s to 40s. They're like probably most likely in a more stable, you know, house, either job, they're married and their husband has a great job. And so they're just, you know, big spenders in America. And so I was like, okay, I knew I wanted to serve them. I found this product that I think was going to work, and it had kind of fit the criteria I was looking for, something with high margins. And a margin, right, it's just like, what's the difference between what I buy it for and what I sell it for? And so this one had around 80-85% margins if I do big bulk ordering, and it just got me super hyped up. So I started building out the branding. But you know, one thing I get really trapped in is spending way too much time on like the brand, because I'm a designer, right? I'm an artist. I love the creative part of things. And so I like to spend a lot of time there, but you know, I need to get ads out. And I had a goal to get ads out to start testing the product, because guys, that is the biggest cheat code. Literally just put some meta ads out, running what you're gonna sell. And if people start clicking on it, then you know it's a good product. And if you don't, okay, maybe you wasted a couple $100, but now you can move on to the next product. And so I spent a little bit, probably way too much time this weekend, you know, building out the brand. Although I still haven't figured out building out the brand, because I thought I had it all built out. And then I looked up that company name, you know, this thing. And okay, I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys. I'm building a skincare brand. I was like Sev, which is sap in French, skincare, and somebody already had a product. And so, you know, building this skincare brand is going to be interesting, and I don't know if the product that I'm selling that I currently have is really the thing that's going to work. So next week, this is all that next week's going to be about, right? I promise that I will have run some ads. I promise that I will have tested out a product, and I will come back to you with data, because right now I spent way too much time on like design. But like, I know that I'm going to build this brand, this luxury skincare brand. I just don't know what the hero product, or you know, like the main product that I'm going to be selling is going to be. And so I'm kind of in limbo state, but I promise next week I will have run ads, and you guys will get to see like what that's done, you know, because that's when the scaling will happen. As soon as you have the product, as long as you like can have distribution set up correctly and fast, you will be able to like get it out there. So this week, the biggest thing was I bought my dream camera, which is super sick, and I will be showing it to you. In fact, it's right here. Canon C50. It is beautiful. Literally shot with it this weekend, and it is just absolutely gorgeous. I have yet to see the footage because I do not. Look how big these SD cards are. Like, these were called CF Express Type B cards. That will focus on that. That would be sick. Anyway, they're massive, like an SD card. Like, they're so thick. But I don't have a card reader for it yet. And so I have yet to look at anything. But, you know, looking at it, I mean, the body is just absolutely just humongous. Anyway, my camera doesn't want to focus. But so cool. It'll be fine. But I'm on my way to buy my, I think it's a dream camera at the moment. I'm gonna go pick up the C50 in Salt Lake, and then we got a little shoot. Fit today goes crazy. But I'm so stoked. Like, I've been looking at this camera since it got released on the 9th of September, and now we're gonna go buy it. So yeah, come with me as I do that. Low-key, Utah is way too beautiful. Like, look at that. Like, holy cow! There she is. We're here. Time to drop $4,000. That'd be lit. Then we're gonna go chill. We'll do an unboxing later. This place is absolutely massive. My first time seeing one live. There she is. Okay guys, I'm literally so stoked. I'm seeing that thing. It's massive. Like, not massive, but definitely bigger than my R6. It's gonna be so sick. I'm so excited. Don't know why I'm buying a camera, because I'm trying to get out of the production space, but you know, what can you do? I'm super stoked. All right, guys, there she is. Camera coming. All right, guys, here we go. Camera coming. Let's do this thing. All right, guys, we got it. This bad boy right here is this. Just got it. So, big things coming. Big things coming. So a lot of these ideas that I've been sharing with you today come from books that I'm reading. In the last couple of days, I've read quite a few books. the YouTube formula, 12 months to $1 million, and Nail It and Scale It, which I would highly recommend. And all of these books talk about similar concepts, right? Validating processes, not building businesses before you really know what you're doing. But specifically, kind of like I've been mentioning before, 12 months to $1 million says this exact line. The business comes from the customer, not the product. Once again, customer, not product, not business, customer, customer, customer. You can nail that into your bones, you will succeed. So this flipped my thinking. So for so long, I've run a video production company, and I still do, and it's what pays my bills, and it's what pays for me to, live the lifestyle that I live. But most of the companies that I work for, they don't expect an ROI, right? They just want the video content. They just know that content is important. They just want to put it out there. And so, we just kind of make stuff, which is great, but they're these big companies, accounting firms and nonprofits. And so they're not trying to really get necessarily anything out of their videos. Of course they are. No one does anything for nothing, but they're not like, if this video doesn't get 1 million views, I'm going to stop paying you. And so it's good and bad, right? It takes a lot of pressure on my part, and I can just kind of create freely how I want to, because literally it has no effect on the customer. But what it has been doing is been hurting my mindset. I've been so focused on just kind of having fun that I've kind of lost the idea of creating with somebody else in mind. Most of the content that I've created in my life, I've just created for me, which has been great. I've had a lot of fun. That's why I enjoy my job still, because I just create it for me. But going into this week, I really had the realization that I have to think about other people. I have to think about a specific niche, and the more specific, the better. I had to figure out the group I wanted to serve. And once I did that, then I really figured out how I could, build an offer, build something around that. All right, guys, we're making progress. First office I've ever owned. Well, not owned, but there's an entrepreneurship program at my college, and they lease offices for students, but the leasing is free, so not really a lease. Just have to kind of apply. So I got one, so we're gonna make this the space. But super hyped for all the gear. Got the C50 ready to go. Monitor, gonna figure out how to configure the room. So, all right, we are making big moves here. Just published the first vlog. Definitely getting into this YouTube stuff, making it a priority. So I think I'm literally gonna film and edit another video. But first one is literally a 2 out of 10. So go watch it if you want to. But I did it, and that's literally what I'm trying to do. Just do it. But there's valuable content in there. But yeah, anyway. So guys, I just want to teach you something, right? So I was talking about customers. So you can ask yourself some questions to know who your customer is, right? You can ask, who already spends money? You can ask yourself, who has a painful, obvious problem? You can ask yourself, who do I understand emotionally? Some of the best things you can do is sell a product that you would buy and you understand, because then you know the pain point. In fact, I am a really big skin picker on my arms and my back. And so I have back knee a little bit, not terrible, but I have a few things here and there. And I was in the shower this morning and I'm like, okay, well, if this skincare brand works for the girls, I'm literally just gonna mimic. It's gonna be the exact same branding pretty much. And I would just target men and with the skin problem on their sides of their arms. So, and then the fourth thing is, who can I reach without permission, right? If your friends are already around you, right, and they have problems, just start asking them, because sometimes the hardest thing to do in validating is get to the people who have the problem, right? Targeting people that have your same problem is super easy, but targeting a CEO of a big corporation, that's much harder to get in contact with them. So if you can figure out how to target the people you don't need permission for, then you can figure out how to get feedback faster, because like I said, it's all about the customer. You want as much feedback as you can possibly get. So once you've done that 4-question part, right, you can eliminate pretty much all of your bad ideas, because if you can't figure out how to sell it to, if you don't know what a pain problem is, et cetera, just don't do that product. Until you have something that kind of fits in those 4 questions, you really shouldn't be building it. So a lot of people get stuck when they want to build a product or go into business, because they pick an idea based on what sounds cool, what feels impressive, and what looks good on social media, right? A lot of people are picking trending products that are trying to go in with a fad, but if you don't build a brand, if you don't build a name for it, you really just cannot succeed. It's just inevitable. Real businesses feel boring at first, because you just have to work on it until you get it right. And so that means trying, iterating, and asking for feedback all along the way, right? As soon as you have raving fans, then you can keep scaling, and that's when things kind of get more exciting, because you can hire more people out, revenue starts coming in, and it's super awesome. So the key lesson from this week is really that focus isn't about doing less. It's about focusing on one person to serve deeply. the more niche of a person you can find, the faster you can build, right? Because if you can find the 100 people with this exact nitty picky problem, you will be able to find them. They will come to you like flies on a fruitcake, and you will be able to find them, help them, and then start expanding from there. As soon as you find one person, the product gets easier, the market gets easier, everything gets easier. So after everything is said and done, right, all of these things, you're not rushing, right? You build trust. And building a brand is all about building trust, because look, this is my plan, right? So let's take the skincare industry, which is what I'm about to infiltrate. I am looking for women 34 to 38 who, work a job probably, they're probably not married, and they probably spend a decent amount on their skincare. And you know what I'm trying to do? I'm trying to target them, and through marketing, I'm going to make them feel seen, because a lot of the time, this specific demographic, through the research that I've done, feel underserved, undervalued, like they go to work and they put their hard work in and they're great workers, but no one really seems to give them credit where credit is due. And so they just feel a little bit under the weather. That's kind of like, this is my Claire, is what I call her. She is just, underserved, underloved, and building this skin brand around that woman, specifically her, making her feel valued, is just something that she can resonate. And as long as the product is good, if all of the emotion is there, that's what we're going for, right? I'm not selling skincare. I'm selling, wow, I feel like I got 3 hours of sleep, but I look like I got 8. And so as soon as you can start building the emotion, then you will have no problem growing and scaling. And then look at this. I don't even know any of the big skincare brands out there, but what I do know is as soon as I have, let's say 5 to 10,000 monthly recurring customers, right, of these women, because there's probably about that many out there that are buying my product, and by association, their friends and their moms, as soon as people start like connecting with this brand, start buying, they leave other market shares. And so as soon as they come to me, then I have iterated and I have narrowed down on this specific little market. And big companies like that, because big companies can't iterate as fast as I can iterate. And so that is how you really build. Like when you hear about people building and scaling businesses and then getting sold for 10, 20, 30, 100, 200, 500 million dollars, it's because they've basically taken a part of the market, niched them into their company, and then they get sold to the bigger companies. And so, that's my plan right now. It's possible that that could change. I might fall in love with this company, and it's hard because sometimes the big companies, they don't take as much care of your customers as you had. And so that's a really hard thing to let go of. But there are companies out there that are willing to acquire you that do keep the customer mind in focus, and I would be willing to sell to them. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where this whole thing is going, right? I'm trying to build a market, then build the market, gain trust in the market, then iterate on the market so that I have products that my customers love, and then you sell that market, and then you go build another market. And that's everything that entrepreneurship is, right? You find the market, you build the market, iterate the market, you earn the trust of the market, and then you sell the market, and you do that all over again. That is what entrepreneurship is all about. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Week 3 is all going to be about validating. I'm literally going to get some samples of this product. I'm going to run some ads. I'm going to figure out if it's working. I'm going to be documenting the entire thing so you can see exactly how I'm doing it. I'll probably even run some Facebook, I'll probably do some screen recording on my computer so you guys can see what's actually happening. And then hopefully we'll get some sales this week, right? I don't even have the product, but we're going to be building it anyway. And I'm taking it slow because I do value this. This is not some drop shipping thing. This is not some like e-commerce brand that I don't really care about. Like I do care deeply. Like I know that this can scale, and maybe this first product is not the winning product, but there is a product out there that connects with this audience, and I'm going to find it, and I'm going to talk to them, and I'm going to talk to them and talk to them and talk to them. And I'm probably going to lose a ton of money just trying to figure this out. But if I can speak to my customers, then I can figure out what's going on. So the biggest lesson I can tell any entrepreneur, and this is down to nail it and skill it, like go read that book. It's phenomenal. It's build fast and build cheap. Because so many people waste time building with millions of people's money because they think they have a great idea, when in reality, if they had just talked to their customer, they would have found that it's actually not that big of a problem and people are not willing to pay for it. You want to be finding painkiller level problems, not vitamin levels, right? People do pay for vitamins, but in a market with so much demand, if you don't find those painkillers at the beginning, there's no way that you'll ever be able to sell the vitamin. Anyways, that was my week. So if you guys are here following along, I love you. Give me a subscribe. Honestly, go follow me on Instagram, Kimball Mueller. That's where we'll be posting probably more short form content here in the future. and send me a DM. Like, I want to know who you guys are. So want to build this community, want to answer questions. Like I said, as far as the content direction and marketing direction of companies go, I am a little bit ahead of most people. And so I do have some valuable information there. So if you have any specific questions about, iterating, building, let me know. Be happy to answer. So have a good week, guys.